Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mail Something Pretty. I am Christine Josty of Mail Something Pretty, and it is a regular Tuesday live. Let's see, it's March 26th. March is over almost, which is good. We've had so much rain in March. I can't wait for us to a little dry weather. They're saying this weekend we'll have no rain, so it'll be the only weekend in March we've had no rain. So that will be fun. So I'm just waiting to make sure that the audio is working and the video is working. So if you're watching live, please let me know that A is okay, and then we can start. I have some fun projects for you to do, or for me to do for you to see, and then you can copy them. I also have some fun things to show. There's, with the end of the month, there are some fun things happening. So I'm going to show you that stuff as well. Some of it you can see behind me. I'll talk about that in a second. Hey, Susan. All right. So great. So the audio must be working. So that is good. All right. So I will actually talk about that first as we get people on here. So if you read my emails, one went out on Monday, which was yesterday, and this morning, and another one. Hi, Nancy, is going to go out at exactly 3 o'clock. It's scheduled, so it will go out even if I'm talking now, which I won't be that long, but it will go out. So I went through all of my retired stash, as we call it. Nothing that's retiring on the list now. So nothing that's current now. Hi, Cindy. But all my old stuff, and some of it was old. Like I even had wood sets. I didn't put any wood sets in the boxes, but so from then onwards, I mixed everything up. So there's at least 9 stamp sets. Some have 10, some even have 11. There's at least one bundle, meaning like a die set bundle. Some might have some standalone dies. There's at least one punch all in one box, and some of the punches, if the stamp set went with a punch, those are together. There's at least a Christmas bundle. I think they're all Christmas bundles or Christmas stuff inside. There's at least one brand new packet of designer series paper. Some of them has specialty paper. Everything, all boxes have something brand new, never used. There's a bunch of new stamp sets never used. So they're all packaged. I don't know what is what. They're called mystery boxes for that reason. So at 3 o'clock Eastern time, so that's in 56 minutes from now, they are going to be for sale for $100. That includes the $18.50 priority shipping. And I will ship them out tomorrow and the next day and as I get them in. So that is what that all is. So part of the fun is the mystery and you don't know what you're getting. Okay, so that's happening. So let me actually go to my screen here. And let me actually move some of this stuff over. Hopefully I won't drop anything. All right, so in the meantime, Kim's here. Hello. Said hi to Cindy, Nancy, Susan, whoever else. There's more people watching, I can tell, but I don't know who you are. So hop on and say hi. Let me know who's watching. So I'm going to be using the Simply Zinnias paper again today because it's my favorite. And really, I wrote my email and I wasn't lying. It's like one of my top 5 favorite papers. So just look how vibrant that is. And I said on the live last week that I would share a screenshot of my phone, which I did. And it really does look like this. But they were flowers from my garden a few years ago. This is I just love that. It's just fun and vibrant paper. And there's one sheet that is not in here. It's the green paper. So this is my product spotlight. So I just checked right before I hopped on live. Hi, Debbie. It is on low inventory, which means there's still some, but it's low. And I do not know if once it's sold out, if it's gone or if it will be back. They didn't tell me, and they don't tell me. So anyways, it's this paper. We're going to use it. I'm going to show a bunch of cards that I've made in the past. But I always try to offer a PDF, a tutorial with whatever my product spotlight is. So that's the paper. And here is my PDF. And it's for these paper purses. So I know I've showed them on other lives before. Snowy Minnesota, Debbie. We have rain. It's just yicky out. Sorry about that. I think I'd actually honestly rather snow than all this rain we're having. So I have you can kind of see there's 3 different style toppers. You can use any dies, but I made suggestions. I made this fun little flower, and they are just Velcroed shut. and you can the 3x3 cards would have fit inside. Certainly a gift card, chocolates, jewelry, you know, they're just so sweet, and they set up really nice so you can just have them. And I showed you these before with the little tassels. I show you how to make these, and these remind me of my grandmother, which is just, you know, a nice memory. And I made one with a bow, and I also show you like it's clean, like all the messy stuff is sandwiched between, so you don't see all that messy stuff. So anyways, the tutorial, which you can either leave on your computer or you can print it, has photographs, there's all that kind of stuff. All these, my printer wasn't so good, so my colors aren't great. But anyways, they give you all the directions on that. So if you buy the paper, I'll send you the tutorial, or you can just buy the tutorial if you already have the paper, or you just want to buy the tutorial. Okay, that is that. So let me, to get more people. Hi, Becky. You're getting snow too, Nancy. I know, I know. Well, sometimes snow is better for the plants than the rain. We're getting like flooded. All right, so I had made these at the beginning of the month. I had showed you how to make these were the color contour flowers. But I turned them into zinnias because I still don't have the zinnia set, which actually I can show you because I printed it out. There we go. So here's the stamp set. And Anne showed the stamp set last week, and that's lovely. So I made those, and I used the paper. I had made these, was it last week? Using the Zinnias paper with the hummingbirds, which is fun. This was in my email this morning. So I showed you just a quick, what did I call it? A quick snip card or something. I'm sure it has another name. But you can see both sides of the papers. And then I made, these were my the simple cards I made on my live with Anne last week. And really this paper does all the work. And of course I stepped it up a little bit and used other papers. So you can see that there are lots of ways you can use this Zinnias paper. And you can tell by the amount of things I've made that I do really love it. All right, so today, so I had made this, let's see, I am all crooked here. I had, scoot that down a little bit. I had made this card. It was actually, this is actually a second version. I made one a few years ago. It was black and white paper, celebration paper. So I kind of stepped it up and we made birthday cards. So this was a club project. The video's on YouTube. I think it's even on my webpage. I forgot. I actually even sent it to my daughter's boyfriend who was studying abroad, and he loved it. So it's a fun card for, it's a nice, this one is a nice masculine card. But I thought, since I've always done it in black and white, that we should do it with colors. So here I did it in, this one has a melon mambo background, and so I used the strips of Zinnias paper. This one I used the lemon lime twist, and I just put each a little stripe inside. And this one used the Highland Heather, because there's so many different colors in this pack. Almost every color matches. And this one, so this one and this one, I used all the same paper, but I still followed that, you'll see, I'm going to do one, the like quilting technique with the stripes and stuff. But you can do either just one pattern, or this one has three. I think 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this one only has 3 patterns, and then this one has multiples. So you can kind of mix it up a lot. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to do different colored versions. So I brought out Berry Burst, well, we can make 2, and Flirty Flamingo. So then we'll have, I guess there's 2 here. So then we'll have different colors for the color palette. All right, and so I'm going to use those 2. Move some stuff around here. And what's great is because I've been using this paper so much, I have a lot of scraps left over. Voila. And so I turned some of them into 1-inch strips, and I probably have to cut some more because I don't think I have enough scraps here because I've used them. And I also kept my little 1/2-inch scraps, and that's what I put on the inside of the cards. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm using the Nested Essential Dies, which coordinate mostly, not the big one, I'll show you, but with the Kindest Expressions stamp set. I think, now I forget, I'm pretty sure these are carrying over, so they're available now, and I think they'll be available later. I think this one is available now. It might be available later, but now I'm doubting myself. I forget. So we'll find out with the new catalog. Everyone's kind of, all the demonstrators are talking about the new catalog because it was just released last week. I did not go to the event, so I have not really seen it. But from what I hear, it's beautiful and it's different. So we'll just leave it at that. And once I get it, then we can chat about it. All right, so I'm going to cut my paper this way on the 4 1/4. And then I'm going to score one piece in half at 5 1/2. And then one piece I'm going to cut at 5 1/4. And I'm going to spin this and cut it at 4. So these two will make up one card, and I'm going to do the same thing since I have this here. This I will use for something else later. So I'm going to cut this again at 4 1/4. I'm going to score this one half. This will be my card base. And then this one I'm going to cut at 5 1/4 because this is, you'll see, it's kind of what we're going to attach all the quilt strips to. And at 4. All right, so this piece will be saved for something else that I'll just recycle. And let me actually, since I have my cutter out, I'm just going to cut some strips now. Like I said, I do them at 1 inch. You could certainly change them up if you wanted to do them. I really wouldn't, I don't know if I'd make them any thicker. You could do maybe at 1 1/4, but you won't get as many designs. You could do them at 3/4, certainly. Remember, there's 2 sides of the paper, so I'm just cutting kind of one side right now. I just think this is beautiful. It's the Lemon Lime Twist and Lemon Lolly. Those are the 2 colors together. I mean, how vibrant and beautiful are those together? And I think it's funny that it's the Lemon Lime Twist and Night of Navy are like 2 of my favorite all-time Stampin' Up! Colors. And it's funny because the Lemon Lime Twist is also a favorite of Anne's. Who knew that we would like so many things of the same? All right. So again, I'm just cutting a bunch of strips now. Like I said, I showed you, I have a bunch of little pieces, and sometimes the little pieces is exactly what you need. Here's that green with the 2 different sides. I just want to make sure that I have enough so I don't have to go back and cut after we start gluing, because then it will be all sticky. I have that piece. I think light purple. Yeah, I think we're good. We'll find out. If I have to cut more, I'll cut more, but I think we're good. All right, so I have my strips. I'm going to bring these strips over. I have these strips. Let's put back over here. This is I cut them this way because this is just a personal preference, but when I have a card in the landscape position, I like to open it this way, because then when you, well, not some on stuff, but if you set it on a table, it sits up pretty well versus where did the other cards go? Here we go. Here's one. Versus this is a portrait position, so it opens this way and it sits up like that. But if I have it in the landscape position, which there's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes that one's, of course, it's sitting up, but sometimes they get floppy and they flop. So that's why, if you're ever wondering, that's why I open them this way. Sometimes I forget. It's not a big deal, but just so you know the reasoning behind what I'm doing. All right, so those I'm going to set aside. These are the 2 bases we're going to use. And just looking. Oh, I meant to bring up a second silicone mat and I didn't. That's all right. We'll get sticky. No worries. We'll just get sticky. Okay, so we're going to kind of build these at the same time. So I have one silicone mat buried under here. And so you can see, like, I used that one, but I can still use that piece. So that's why I saved my little scraps here. So we'll start magenta. So what I like to do, so I like to find, oh, I happen to have a long piece. If it wasn't this long, you just, for the first piece, let me show you, which is like kind of this, mostly my center pieces. Even this one, I try to do like corner to corner. And sometimes, let's see if this one, it doesn't always line up corner to corner. So then maybe I'll shuffle it over a little bit so that it does line up, because we're going to snip away all this excess. So I'm going to actually use this one. This is a funny pattern. I love this pattern, but it doesn't necessarily go with the bigger flowers, so I didn't really use it on any of them. So you have a choice. You can either put glue or tape on the back of your strip, or you can put glue directly on your card. And I'm going to put this down. I'm going to make sure that that corner gets covered. And obviously that's covered because it's a long, this happens to be a longer strip. So that will kind of start us off. And then you just kind of pick from here whatever patterns you want to do next. So this is Berry Burst. That actually kind of looks pretty together. Let's see. I like to do kind of two going in this direction, and then I move them around. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to put this next to this. And then, let's see, I think a nice, oh, look at that. So then I'm going to go in the opposite direction. And I'm keeping, approximately, I'm not measuring it, but I'm trying to keep the border in between the strips about the same. So I can even do, this one's kind of big. Do I have a smaller one? And it's okay if it's big. Here we go. I'll use a smaller one. So this one, I'm just putting a little glue and putting that in there. And then this one, I can go in either direction. So let's do a little purple. We'll go in this direction. See, so a lot of quilts, they have specific patterns. This one's really not following a specific pattern, but I'm doing some this way and then some that way. And I'm just going to turn this whole thing around and then work on the other side. So I think maybe I'll do, you can, so since this is going in this direction, if you want to kind of keep it linear, which some of them I did, just have it go in that direction. So I'll just put my glue right there. Oops. I did not mean to do that. So let's see, is this one long enough? It is. So I'm just following that line in that direction. I'm just going to let that glue dry, what I just dropped. So you can mimic, if you want to mimic patterns, or yeah, patterns of the paper. So I could go in that way, or I could go that way. I'm going to go that way. Sometimes it's whatever fits the whatever the background better. So I have this little piece, but that's going to fit fine right in there. And then what colors? I'm trying to pick some colors that are in this strip that I don't have. Some orange. I don't know if I want to introduce orange. I don't think so. Maybe I'll use some of this stripe again. Yeah, that's better. Some of it's just eyeballing, seeing what kind of works, trusting your gut. And then I have a little piece, that's probably a little thick. A little piece here, so I will, let's say 2, 2, 2, 1, 1. Maybe I'll just do a little bit of that one. So here, I have a tiny little space and I have this, but I can just take my cutter and just cut it so I right angle, and then I could use either piece. So I can even use a smaller piece, and I'm just going to tuck that right there. I'm going to put a dot of glue, and I'm just going to tuck that right there. All right, so I'm pretty much covered. So I'm going to let that dry for a second. I'm actually going to flip it over. It's not that sticky, but sometimes you might have glue on the other side. And I'll just do this one. Let's see if I want different patterns. This one, let's see. Let's see if we can do it with maybe 3 patterns. Because the other one I did a lot. All right, so I'm just going to make sure that my corners are covered. So which 3 patterns do I want to do? This is a Flirty Flamingo base. Well, maybe. I haven't used this one. Oh, actually, that would work. That would kind of calm it down a little bit. And oh, let's see. Oh, we can use these. Sometimes don't work together, but that would work together. Just seeing, but I actually. All right, let's see what we can do with these kind of 3 colors. So how about I'll have this one go down on this side. The other one I had on the upper side. Like that. And then we'll have this will go that way. So if you're doing 3, now I could cheat because those are 2 different sizes. They're pretty close, so I might cheat. And it doesn't matter because I just made up the rules myself. Good grief, you use way too much glue, Nancy. Yeah. You're not alone. I will say a lot of people use a lot of glue, and I don't think you really need to use that much glue. All right, so I glued that one down. So with 3, it's sometimes hard because you don't, not that you don't want 2 patterns next to each other. I might need, I am going to use this pattern. So maybe I'm using kind of 4 or 3.5. All right, so now I can stick this one right there. Yeah, so look at a little dab of glue, that's all you need. And once I trim it, you'll see I may have to go back and add a little bit more glue. All right, so I need some more of that. Cut some more. I don't see any. And by doing it in inch, it's an easy measurement to remember. Let's see if that might be enough. And all these other scraps, once we cut them away, I'll have more. So what I could do is, because that interrupts, I could continue that pattern, or I could change it. I could also, I think I'm going to go in this direction, but I'm going to go this way. Sometimes it's just, and it's hard because you got all this space over here that's going to be cut away. All right, I'm going to use this piece. I'm going to trim this piece. Oh, actually, oh, nope, that's attached. And then when you trim it, you can say, well, do I want more of this color or this color? So it's a tiny bit, but that color is there. So I'm going to, oh, I was looking for a purple piece. Let's see. That's the same. Here, that's a little bit different. I'm using this big long piece on this tiny little area, but that's all right because I can just trim it. All right, so now we need some more of this color. So that was this one. I'm going to have it go on this side. And then I'm going to have this piece will go right in here. Oops. All right, and then here's kind of, I'm just visualizing, we need a, oops. I think we need another one of that. So I can go this way or I can go that way. I think I'll go this way so then I have two in both directions. And then I have this tiny little corner and that will fit right there. All right, so then we're done. Leave it up there. I'm just gonna move all my scraps over. Let's see, I'm gonna put cover on the glue so I don't get it stuck to anything. These are all done. The white pieces. Okay, I'm gonna move this aside. Let that one dry. I'm gonna flip it over again just to give it a little air. All right, so we're gonna go back to this first one. So it looks messy, right? It totally looks messy, but it will look much better in a second. So I am, it is like a paper puzzle. So I flip it over just because I can see the line of my cardstock better, and I'm just gonna trim it with scissors. The other one I'll show you can trim with your cutter, and then you can decide which way you like better. You just trim these off, but I can use those again. You know, if you're making a bunch of these, you can totally use all those scraps again, even some of the little pieces, those little filler in places. All right, but it's going to look so much better and cleaner once I flip this over. So you ready? When I flip it over, doesn't that look so much better? So if for some reason you can check to see if any of these lift up, and you know, you can always, oh, these are all pretty good. You can always add a little spot of glue to put them down. So you can either use scissors or, all right, so here's that one, messy, messy. I'm gonna flip it over, same thing, and put it in my cutter. So the first one sometimes is, I don't want to say tricky, but you just have to align the edge of your paper kind of with the cutting track here, because I can't line it up yet because there's no flat surface yet, but now I have that flat surface. So now I can put it up here and line that up in the track. Cut, smooth those over. So it's a little faster. So you can do either. And the only, because it is faster, but this, I don't want to say a con, but I'll show you the one little con. And you might not even see it. Because I cut it on the upside down, when I flip it, sometimes the edge of the paper is up. So then I just kind of score it down with my fingernail. And that might be something you really can't see on camera, but you can just see like the direction of the cutting blade went. So then I'll see if there's any like that should be all right. All right, so they have kind of two different looks. Similar, I used all the patterns of this on here, but I also introduced more color. So you can just decide which you like better. And so now we'll just put them together. So I just decided to use the same stamp, and I'm using, let's see, I kind of took the colors from the, again, there's so many colors in this pack. So this is Blackberry Bliss. And I love, for this stamp set, I love to use this kind of marker to stamp method, because you can get two different colors on the stamp. And they're big letters, so it's easy to kind of color. And so then I think I used Melon Mambo. So Blackberry Bliss and Melon Mambo. I'm just gonna huff on it. And that just gives a little moisture in case the ink dried. And that way you get two. So let me just do that again. Yeah, I think these colors actually will work on both. So I will keep the same colors. If I wanted different colors, I would just wash it off and then do this again. You can do this marker to stamp method with photopolymer stamps too. I think it works a little bit better on the red rubber, but you just get a little darker image than if you did it on the photopolymer. I know I stamped that upside down, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to cut it out. All right. So that's extra. And I brought my little machine over. Where did I put it? There it is, right next to it. All right, so we're going to use a little machine on this one. I have to find the dies. And I know I was talking with someone about this the other day, and I forget who it was. You get the plates, just like in the big machine, you get the little plates, and it kind of gives you directions of, like it says on this one, insert embossing folder, inch first, blah, 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 using 1 and 3. Oh, if I was using an embossing folder, which I wrote right there. But I wrote on my pad because I find that this sandwich works better than the recommended one, and each machine's slightly different, so you have to kind of play with it, but that's why I wrote it on here. So when I cut a die, I'm going to use this plate and then the 2 clear, because before, when we were doing it, you had to kind of like play with the beveled edges and get them. So now you don't have to do that. So just play with your machine, and once you know what it is, just write, oh here they are, write on your plates, and then you never have to think about it. There's nothing wrong with writing on your tools. All right, so these I'm going to put through. This I'm going to line up. Hold on. Is this the one I want to use? No, that one's too big. That's what I thought. I'm going to use the one that's a little bit smaller. There we go. So I'm lining up kind of the edges of the T and the S of thanks. And then I'm making sure that the S down here fits in, because it really does. It fits perfectly. Put that on there. And then you crank it through. Before you had to like line these up in a, like just the right way. But now I don't have to do that. All right, and I will cut this one. And did I bring, let's see, I'm thinking out loud. Who does that? I do that all the time. I don't know if I brought, but it doesn't matter because I have some extra scrap here for a bigger border around it. So let's see. Which one? We'll do this one. Now this is too wide, so I'm just going to cut it. I could cut it with my trimmer, but I'm just going to cut it with scissors. That's the one thing with the mini machine is it's only, I think it's like 3.5 or 3¼ inches wide. So it doesn't do every die, but it does, I'd say probably, I lost my plate, 75% of dies. All right, we'll just do one that has a border around it. All right, I have made a mess of my work table, but that's all right. Okay, so we don't need that. We have these two. We have this. We have this. So that will go, we'll see. We'll either go on, it could match the border, but I think I'm going to put it on that one. And we'll just do this one plain, I think. And I have ribbon too. Okay, so we're just going to glue this on our base. Again, this is very burst. And I think one of the cards, I'll take out the stack again. I actually did the borders different than the base, so you can see the difference. But I do kind of like them tone on tone because it's kind of what a quilt looks like. And because I spaced them, it's kind of like the same space, oops, on the outside. Oh, and this one moved on me. Darn it. I'm going to take that off because that is not the right shape. And we're going to do a little piecemeal here. So this is already glued on here. So I'm going to put that there. Find my scissors and cut. And that should work. So I guess I didn't use enough glue. All right, there we go. Okay, so here are two bases, and I have two insides, just regular 4 by 5 1/4. And then what I was doing, kind of, you know what? I don't know if you guys go on different styles. So lately, I've been just putting a little 1/2-inch strip, and I used to put them like I abutted the edges, but I'm actually liking leaving a little white strip there. So that's what I've been doing lately. And then this one, let's see. And it could be thicker, but let's see what this is. Oh yeah. But I'm just kind of liking this look right now. And I actually put the glue directly on the cardstock, and then I put that there because if I put it on this thin piece of paper, I knew I would get ink on my fingers. So then I just flip it over and trim. And then I will, depending on whoever I send the cards to, then maybe I'll stamp something else in here. But at least there's something in there. I just think that's pretty. All right. All right, so those are the insides. They're even pretty just as is. But let's see. I'll just glue this down and then I will pop up this whole piece. And for now, I'm just going to cut pieces because I keep forgetting to bring dimensionals up here. I'm just about out of my regular size dimensionals up here. All right, so this one is going to go on here. Isn't that pretty? So really, they don't take that much work because you can do assembly line. You can make a whole bunch and then cut them all, and then you're good. And so this one I'll leave plain without the border. And then I will bring back all of them to show you again. I'm glad you're in agreement with me, Nancy. All right. And actually this one's nice because there's little white polka dots in there. All right, so those are the two I just did. I didn't even add ribbon. I did bring ribbon up here if I wanted to add something, but I didn't. I'll show you some that have ribbon on them. All right, let me bring them all back. So this is the black and, here, I'll just do this. This is the black and white version, which I still really, really like. And then those are the colored versions. So you can kind of see that it all works. Oh, and of that stamp set, this was that stamp set that I used. Thanks so much. I'll show you the Oh Happy Day. And I love this Sending Sunshines and Rainbows, but it's big. So the dies that kind of go with it are too not big enough. So I use the deckled circles. So you could do that too, but it's big. So it kind of hides half the work that you do. So that's why, and that one's kind of small. I think it looks better on the bigger circle. So that would work too, but I kind of like how you can see more of the patchwork. All right, so let me see here. Let me start. This was the, okay, so you have this one, Just kind of, so that's the, sorry. This one has a border and this one doesn't, but they're pretty similar. One is Melon Mambo, and then the other one is Berry Burst. They're similar until then you put them together and you see the difference. And then this one we just did with a Flirty Flamingo. And this had 4 patterns. And then similar to this one, 1, 2, 3. This one only had 3 patterns. And I did a smaller thank you so you can see a little bit more of the quilting. And then this one has a lot of patterns, and I just did the Oh Happy Day, and I just kind of put on an angle and I put some ribbon in there just to do it a little different. You can see them all. Okay, let me move all this. My camera's in a slightly different position today, which is why I keep showing off camera. And then these two used all of one pattern, so you really can see it on this one. And I did use the same kind of border as the base, and I think that tones it down. Otherwise, it would be a little bit busy. Although this one's a little busy too, but I used this pattern, and this is the one where I used Lemon Lime Twist as the base of putting on the strips, and then I put it on a card base of Melon Mambo, and then I used a Berry Burst border here, and I just toned it down with white ribbon. So it could have been really busy, so I kind of toned it down with some of the white. But I just want to show you the difference, that you could use a different card base with the borders, and then this one is all the same. All right, can I get them all on camera? I can. Let me put the black and white one back too. All right, I'm glad you like them. So again, I know, I'm pretty sure my blog, not even that long ago, because we did it maybe 2 months ago, is the actually YouTube video of this one, but we just made it. And I think there's even a link to the original one I did with a different black and white paper. But they're just fun, and it's a really good way of using up your scraps or creating scraps like I kind of showed you. All right, so those are the Zinnia, the paper. Again, the Zinnia paper, I checked right before I hopped on, is on low inventory status. I don't know if it's gone when it's gone or if they'll be bringing it back. And then don't forget that the, where did it go? I was going to show you, and now I can't find it. The tutorial. Oh, I can't find it. Here it is. Sorry. If you buy the Zinnias paper with me, I will send you this tutorial that you can print, or you can just look at it on the computer to make those paper purses. So that's happening. And then the other thing that's happening are my mystery boxes. So in 16 minutes, these will be for sale. First come, first serve. There's 18 boxes. And then I said at the beginning, kind of all that's in there. And that's been in the emails too, but there's at least 9 stamp sets, at least 1 punch, at least 1 die set, and a lot of times there's multiples. There's at least 1 ink and a re-inker, and some of them have matching papers. There's at least brand new designer series paper. Some of them has brand new specialty paper. Did I say there's a Christmas something in each one? They're stuffed. Oh, I put handmade cards inside. There's some doodads and embellishments inside some of them. I try to make, like, if a punch went with a stamp set, I paired those together. So it kind of made sense, but some of them are really old. Some of them are not so old. Some of them are brand new. So anyways, those are $100, and they go on sale at 3 p.m. today, and until they're gone. And that link will be emailed out. I will also put it on the Facebook page, and it's also on blog, so you can find them in different ways. Okay, good. So next month, I think will be April, right? It's next Tuesday, April? I don't know. I haven't even looked at the calendar. So we'll have to come up. I'll start focusing on something else. As much as I love the Zinnia paper, I'll start sharing some other things, and I don't know what yet. So we'll figure it out. It'll be a surprise to all of us. Okay, just looking over the comments real quick. We are good. If you have questions, let me know. Oh, the other thing is, and this will go into emails and stuff too, but we mentioned it on the live last Thursday. Ann and I do a monthly live together, and I know a lot of you watch them, so thank you. We're doing a Ask Me Anything episode, so to speak. So we will both be in. We said we're going to both be in Mexico together, so we will do the live together from Mexico. Probably actually a similar time because we found out that there's only 1 hour time difference from that, so we'll be pretty close. And so we're looking for questions, and it can be something about stamping related or Stampin' Up related, about us individually or together or whatever. So we'll be looking forward to your questions. Okay, thanks, Nancy. All right, so that's what I had for you today. Thank you very much for joining, whether it's be live or on the replay, because I love you replay watchers. And thanks, and have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys later. Bye.